Hey, what's up, GAM fam, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Join the GAM fam. It's lit over here. Today, we are back with part 2 of Kylie Minogue, the Kylie interview about her breast cancer, 2006. Let's get right into it. Here we go.
Next, those first pictures. Of course, there was a price on my head at that time. Who's going to get a picture of her with, a bus flying by, my scarf coming off or something. And Kylie's secret getaway. Are you going to go back there? I would love to go there. Welcome back. I'm here with Kylie. I believe Ollie took some nice photos of you in Portofino.
Yeah. Portofino,
and I love that he took those pictures. It was actually, it was very funny. He's never taken pictures before.
Wow. He looks like a model.
You let him loose with a camera? Go on, tell me. And, I've been thinking, how am I going to, I don't want someone to of course, there was a price on my head at that time. Who's going to get a picture of her with, a bus flying by and my scarf coming off or something?
I'm sorry for pausing it, but it's crazy. He saw the beauty in her at that moment because look at this. This is model material right here. Her with the short cut is just is serving face. The fact that her hair is not covering her features or anything. You just see her perfect bone structure. This is such a beautiful photo. Man, I hope that this boosted her confidence if she was feeling down about cutting her hair off and stuff like that. But man, she looks incredible right here. Wow.
And I just wanted to do it gently, to do it it wasn't a made-up thing. It's not about looking perfect. It's just capturing. We just went out in the garden. He's like, okay, honey, stand there. I ended up cold. I'm saying, I'm cold. No, stay there. I was like, God.
Oh, wow.
It's pushy photographers. Go over there. And then we went through the pictures and went, okay, that one and that one. And didn't realize that would end up on the news or end up I knew it would have an impact, but it was all very, very positive.
Mm-hmm,
did you in your head go if for some reason I am running out of time or however you term that phrase, did you make a list and go, I need to do this and I want to do this and I want to do that?
I just want to do everything. I really do. I honestly don't want it to sound soppy or too cliche, but that's the way it is. It's nice to take a walk. It's nice to see friends.
The little things as well.
I just can't help but see things differently.
Yeah.
Actually, a friend who had been through breast cancer herself and was kind of my angel that I would call and talk. And did this happen? Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She gave me a book which I never ended up filling in, but it was called Dreams and Thoughts or something like that. And one of the things that I intended to put on that list, or it was on my mental list, was to go to Portofino, to go to this restaurant.
Is that in Italy or something? Where's Portofino?
Which I did. So that was tick,
Greece?
did that.
No.
It sounds like nothing, but that was just, I thought if I can do that, that's great.
Has Langostine ever tasted as good in your life?
No. And I'll go back there again.
Look, I'm too poor to know what they're talking about. I'm like, where's Porter whatever she said, and then I don't know what she's talking about what she ate. I'm too poor to know about that.
Got to ask you about Children of the Sea.
Yeah.
Because we saw all those pictures of you when you were with the kids, and it was kind of some of the first official pictures we'd seen of you in quite a while, actually.
When I performed in The Tempest, the director, Toby Goff, did a project with a lot of the tsunami kids called Children of the Sea. So I just emailed Toby on the off chance, where are you? He said, I'm in Sri Lanka, the show's going great, da-da-da-da-da.
Sri Lanka.
And to cut a long story short, did the trip to Sri Lanka, and it was just such an emotional trip for me. Dare I say, a spiritual trip. I wanted to lie in the water. You have these kind of things that you just, like the langoustine. I said I want to lie, just be in the sea, and that's quite a difficult thing to do if you want to do it and not end up on the cover of a magazine.
Right.
But I managed to do that, and I lost it. All I kept saying was, I'm so happy.
Wow.
Like,
I heard
no
Sri
one
Lanka
understands.
is a beautiful place.
You don't understand. I'm so happy. This is... I can't believe I'm here.
Wow. That's
Next
cool.
thing I know, yes, I'm on an elephant. And even that was incredible.
Okay. So you did the sea thing.
Did the
Saw
sea
kids.
thing.
What else
I
did
was
you-
teaching local kids to swim in the sea.
Wow.
I was teaching them how to boogie board.
They probably didn't even realize who she was. And
I don't even I think all the girls knew was that I was a famous singer.
Yeah,
They really
that's what
don't
I'm saying.
know much more than that, but there was tears when I left.
they don't know how lucky they were to be near her. It's just like I already knew. I was just like, they probably didn't even realize how big she is.
Are you going to go back there?
I would love to go back.
Is there somewhere in the back of your head, because obviously you are incredibly positive and you are that type of woman where you
Well, that's what I try to
Try
have at the
to be.
forefront.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
you have your days.
I'm not like this all the time. I've been through something that, if anyone who's been through it knows, anyone who's a friend of someone, it's no picnic, and I'm
Yeah.
still going through it. It's not like, hey, it's all over and I'm...
It doesn't stop like that, does it?
No, it doesn't. I've finished the main treatments, but I still have some treatments. I still have medical appointments. I still have checkups. So it's great not to be in a hospital for a while.
And worries that it
I
might
just
come
want to
back.
do lots of things. I am so happy to be
Alive.
able to go to Paris, go to here, for my family to see me looking healthy, and again to thank all the people that really might have thought what they did was very small, but they all add up, and they even the smallest thing makes a difference in your feeling and your the road to recovery.
Particularly if you're having a bad day,
Makes
I
a
think.
really big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you
Do you
have
remember-
when you have that support, it really boosts your spirits, because you realize that you're not only fighting for yourself, you're fighting for the people that you love as well, because they're there in your corner.
One of those days, do you remember having like a specific
Yeah, I do.
bad day?
I don't want to tell you about it because it's really,
Yeah,
it
bring
is
back
very,
memories.
it's a dark place to be.
Yeah.
And I
You don't have to.
wouldn't describe that. That's it's there. People know it's there. If you're diagnosed with cancer, you can kind of imagine that there's a lot to go through.
Is it important for you to feel as though you are constantly moving forward and you are constantly taking
Yeah,
risks?
I've always, having had cancer, one important thing to know is you're still the same person at the end. You were still the same person during it. You're stripped down to, you're at kind of down near zero. But yeah, you're still you.
Yeah.
And it seems that most people come out at the other end feeling more like themselves than ever before. I'm like, yeah, put diamonds on. I'm not going to wait for wear the diamonds.
Absolutely not.
Have that drink.
Yeah.
I will have a glass of wine, thank you.
Right.
I
I
Do
like
whatever
this.
you want.
Yeah,
His
it's
life is
kind of-
short.
It's embracing life is what it is. It's just,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
welcome back. I'm here with Kylie Minogue. I remember seeing a visit that you did to some kids with cancer as well.
Yeah.
Did that help you?
It helped me. Yes, it did. It did. I normally go and do a visit to the kids' hospital, and there's a group called Challenge. And the last few tours I've done, kids who are able to come to the show, they come and I meet them and have pictures and everything. And it was just something that I thought would be good for 3 reasons. Good for the children, that's the first and foremost, and the staff, and just lift the morale in the hospital. Secondly, it was on my list of things to do, so that wasn't, I could actually, okay, I've had to cancel the tour, but this was one thing, I can do that. And thirdly, it wasn't, there's a couple of points where it really wasn't easy. I'm so used to saying, talking to the family and the children. And at one point, over one of the beds, the father of an ill child said, "And how are you doing?" It just eyeballed me at that moment. I said, "Fine." I managed to find a corner I could go off and just kind of contain myself. But it was good just for people. They hadn't seen me. I mean, the public hadn't seen me since my diagnosis, and just to
check on.
I think it allowed them to breathe a small sigh of relief and go, okay, I've seen her. Didn't know what was to come, of course, but yeah, it was good.
What about the media? Did it feel incredibly intrusive?
Yes. Again, not so much for me, but for my family. Like, can you imagine how protective my dad was at that moment?
Yeah,
and yet,
like a bear.
You cannot punch paparazzi because then you're going to be in court. And
Yeah.
Don't be a Kanye.
I don't know. We all just had to kind of deal with it and go through the.
So what were they doing? Were they hiding out? Were they hiding out in bushes outside your
being
house? Were they trying
obnoxious.
to get into the hospital?
Oh yeah, all of that.
Wow.
But I simply cannot stress enough that it was
like I get that that's their job and stuff, but sometimes it makes it look like the celebrities are animals and they're in the zoo and you're just like taking pictures of them and their private parts of the world where they're trying to be by themselves and deal with different things because they're human. Like, they have things to deal with too. They're not gonna always be in a good mood or happy all the time. We go through things, so it's just like you don't need that other stress on top of more stress. It's just they really don't have any sense of what's the word, privacy, respect, all that. Like, I don't really agree with paparazzi.
the team around me. I had 2 wonderful security girls. They were with me the whole time. The hospital was fabulous. Really, they've probably never dealt with anything like that before. To this day, I haven't seen it all, like the kind of immediate aftermath. I've heard about it. I've heard that it was everywhere. But I simply couldn't face that at that time. It was just like lockdown.
Aren't you having a very special exhibition in the V&A?
Yes.
That started in Australia, actually, talking of Australia.
Well, there's a few projects that were all started before my diagnosis that are all about to happen. So I've got so many reasons to be
Like the Showgirl tour.
excited. Yeah.
So what's the one for the V&A?
The V&A, I donated all of my clothes, my tour clothes, red carpet clothes, shoes, etc., to the Performing Arts Museum in Melbourne. And that nearly tipped all of us over the edge, having to compile where everything came. It's this stuff, like they have Charlene's overalls, they have the hot pants, they have everything.
Oh, hold on, then we've got to
I would
talk
love
about
to
those
go
hot
see
pants.
that.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to go back to the hot pants.
Okay.
Those hot pants. Spinning Around was 2000.
Yeah.
Went
Was
to
that the
number
red
one
pants?
in the UK and Oz. How responsible were you and how responsible were the hot pants? And can you differentiate
All
between
I
the
know
two?
is I spent so much time talking about them. I would have loved to just send them out to do the interviews. Really? I mean, hello, me. No.
Wait, so I just watched the cab prank with Alan and Kylie, and she pulled out these gold underwear. Were they the same ones? Is that what hot pants is? I don't know. I feel like there's a difference in vernacular from the UK and in well, I don't know if she's in the UK. She might be in Australia, but it sounds like the lady is British. But I don't know if hot pants means like short shorts or underwear. I'm not sure, but it looked like when they showed it, it looked like those underwear that she pulled out in that cab. But yeah,
Hot pants. But I
Hot
love
pants.
that my girlfriend found them at a market or somewhere for 50p, as is famously reported.
Because that was a really big moment. It was kind of a really pivotal moment.
Yeah, and I was happily not that aware. It's only afterwards I realised, oh my god, if that hadn't worked, I really would have been down in a dumper. Yeah.
Is that a frightening thing to think now?
After what I've been through, no. No.
it's the least of her worries.
I was ecstatic at the time, I remember. To go in at number one was great.
I have to talk about Charlene and Neighbours.
Okay.
Because I was the biggest fan. I'm sure, actually, I still have Scott and
People
Charlene.
still come out of the closet.
Those days, describe them for me.
Fabulous. I had done acting through well, since I was really little, and then was acting again at my last couple of years of high school, and we didn't know anything about anything, so we went to the production company who did the Sullivans, and they happened to be having an audition that near to that time, so I auditioned for the Henderson Kids, dressed up in the part, went to the audition, got the role, and that's probably the most fun I had acting.
Wow.
as a youngster. And then I had the bug from that.
Really?
Yeah.
Was Charlene fun to play?
Yeah. Really fun. Never had a clue what I was doing with that spanner. It's an awful admission. I had never... It's like, yeah, right. I nearly blew my car up. I arrived home from... I would drive to work in my little Datsun, speeding out to the Channel 10 studios at Nunawading, late or haven't learnt my lines or something. And I arrived home one day, so this smoke and stuff coming out of my car. To my dad's horror, because he's such a car guy, I'm playing mechanic. I just didn't think about oil and water. I just put petrol in. Things.
You did not.
I did. So I didn't go much further than the overalls. Showgirl Princess, which was an idea in the pipeline when I was on tour, because I got so many cute little... I mean, I love children. Always have, always
Oh,
will.
it's a children's book?
And I would get the
That's so
cutest
cute.
little notes from them, and I thought I really want to do a children's book somehow. I met at the local cafe with the girls from Puffin Books, me with my scarf on, and spoke about the storyline and concept and what we'd like to do, and did it.
I bet that was quite a nice thing to do, actually.
Who has one of her books?
Because
Let
it's
me
something
know.
that completely takes your mind off all that stuff, all the breast cancer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's so little girly, and you you want
It's all sparkles, twinkles,
yeah.
the dog.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta
Sheba
have
the
the
Ridge,
dog.
the Ridgeback.
If you want to know my involvement, it's storyline, it's taking the digital pictures of the dog. I had
Is this Ollie's dog?
Ollie's dog. I don't know how many pictures of Sheba I took.
I don't know how you've done all this.
Why is everybody's dog named
Imagine the rest of
Sheba?
us women.
I feel like everybody had a dog named Sheba. My mom had a dog named Sheba before I was born. It was a German Shepherd. And I've known a lot of other people that had dogs named Sheba. Why was that such a common name for a dog? I don't know.
It's smoke and mirrors.
Really?
Yeah. But in the meantime, it's part of the healing process to do what you do or what you want to do. And this is what I want to do.
After the break, Kylie's emotional return to Tour Down Under.
I've tried to project that many times in my mind, and I just can't.
Maybe they are in Australia. I remember seeing these behind the scenes of Showgirl tour.
Christmas. Are you gonna have Christmas in Australia? Shrimps on the Barbie and all that.
Oh.
We do put seafood on the boat because actually many a Christmas
On the
day
Barbie.
I'm there peeling the prawns.
What, you don't pull the thing of? Listen, I'm not peeling no prawns.
I know, I'm there.
Oh, really?
Heads,
Leash.
etc.
I guess if you want to eat them, you got to peel them.
You gotta peel it.
So is that where you're going to be spending Christmas?
I should think so, yeah. And by then I'll meet my new nephew,
So exciting.
baby in the
Oh,
family. So.
wait. Did Danny have kids, or did her brother have kids? I don't know much about her brother. I don't really know much about Danny either, but I don't think you guys have told me that she had kids. I know she was married to the guy who plays Cole in Charmed. I forgot his name. Julian McMillan or something like that. But I don't know. Y'all let me know.
It's going to just be delightful for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Tell me, when you do go back to Oz with the tour now, how will it feel going home and it's the first thing you're going to do?
I've tried to project that many times in my mind, and I just can't. I really can't imagine. I can't imagine. I'm just focusing on what I have to do to get there.
Take one day at a time.
I don't know quite how I am going to do this. However, I've set myself the goal, and we might have to adapt the show slightly, but it's on November and December in Australia.
Okay.
And for many reasons, I'm going to come back to London and do a week at Wembley in January.
You're very brave. You're very brave.
Why?
How are you going to do that?
I don't know.
Strength.
But you know what? I'm never prepared before a tour.
So how are you going to get yourself? Because I presume you've got to get
I
yourself.
have to get on that walking machine, and I've never been in this situation before where I have to start from the beginning. I don't have strength. I don't have stamina. I don't have everything that I took for granted before. So really, I've got a mountain to climb, but
But she
I
did
don't
it.
fancy hanging around at the bottom of the mountain. I would like to do that.
And how is the tour going to be different? Are you going to make changes to it?
Yeah. Partly because I'm not sure that I'll be able to do everything that I did before, and not that I do an enormous amount of, I'm not kind of jumping all over the stage, but just like quick changes are really stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And particularly those corsets.
Well,
The
yes,
weenie,
well,
weenie,
there's a
weenie.
whole other world
Behind the
backstage that
scenes.
happens 6 times throughout the show. So I said,
You
know
got
what,
like
maybe
40
we won't have
seconds.
quick changes. We'll have slow changes. And maybe even a little chair.
Why not?
Send the
Why
toddler
not?
out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some changes just through necessity, and then other changes because I've done that.
Are you a natural live performer?
Yeah.
I think so, but I have studied. I mean, I put in a lot of work behind the scenes to try and so that when I am out there, I've got the tools that I need, the technique for singing when you're not well. It sounds funny saying that now, doesn't it? Since I, unbeknownst to me, wasn't well, but I still sang.
Yeah.
You did. During that period, were you really tired?
I was tired.
Really?
Even at rehearsals before the tour started, I distinctly recall. I mean, it's funny how things come back to you. Going to my two sound guys, the monitor guy and the front of house, and I was like, oh God, I'm so tired, you know. So maybe I'm too old for this. That's what I kept saying, like. So in retrospect, it is interesting. I don't know how much it's got to do with my illness or whatever, but suffice to say, yeah, I was pretty tired. I feel full of energy at the moment. I'm exhausting everyone. Like, what did they give her? She's my assistant. It's like, can you slow down? No, I can't. Too eager to do things.
So how do you explain that?
When you've been knocked down for a year, I'm being careful not to overdo it, and the team around me, do say, okay, stop. All right, I'll stop. Just
take a moment and breathe.
I'm just excited.
Where do you see yourself at 50? Do you think you'll still be performing and still doing all and still writing books and perfume and DNA?
I have no idea. If there's one thing I've learned the last year is that you
never know.
You can't predict where you'll be.
Yeah.
Try to enjoy the moment.
She's 50 now, right?
Swim in the sea.
Eat
langoustines.
Hug and kiss and, do...
Bike rides with boyfriends.
Yeah. I have no idea. You and I could very well be, okay, let's make a pact.
Go on.
If at 50 we're sitting opposite each other doing an interview,
Yeah.
we'll follow that swiftly with a lovely bottle of Krug. Or
Pet.
two.
It's a deal.
Wow. Y'all, I am so glad that she never listened to people who would say, oh, how are you gonna do that? Because just hearing that lady say, well, how are you gonna go back on stage? How are you gonna perform like you used to? If she had listened to people like that, or people who say you shouldn't go on stage, you should continue to get better and relax and stuff like that, then she wouldn't be where she is now today. I feel like even though she said she didn't have the physical strength, I feel like she had the emotional strength to keep going and do what she loved to do. But that was just such a motivational interview. I feel like I'm closer to Kylie now because I know of her experience of how she felt when she found out she had cancer, the whole time during the time she had cancer. And it's such an inspiration, I feel like people who do have cancer or some type of illness, when they see something like this and they're a fan of Kylie, they feel like they can overcome their illness or whatever they're going through because she did. And I think that's really important because a lot of people look up to her, and a lot of people just look up to a lot of celebrities. So when they see something like that, they become really they have hope. She's giving them hope, and I like that. But that was a really nice interview. That was my reaction to that. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.